don't hesitate to stop and ask. There's no need to sort of rush through things. We don't have for number 2, the discussion and action of approval of minutes, we're still missing the minutes from our August and November and December meetings. So that will have to be tabled for approval next month, hopefully. And so we'll proceed with the introduction of the new members, but first I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Shannon Pensa. I've been serving on the board for the last 3 years, and I'm the outgoing president for the advisory board. So officially this will be my last meeting here. I'm just here to sort of facilitate the transition and election of officers. So we can just go down the line if you're okay with that.
Sure. So my name is Chris Pineda. I'm a new member. This is my first meeting. Just a little bit about myself. I'm originally from Austin, Texas, but my wife and we've lived here since 2009. We have 2 kids. I'm an attorney. I work at the federal courthouse.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Ruby Gonzalez. I have been serving for 1 year, and I am a teacher at Lopez High School, and I've been teaching for 9 years so far. So.
My name is George Olivo. I'm a retired educator with 35 years of service in education. I currently serve as board chair for a couple of other nonprofits here in town, Sunshine Haven, an end-of-life care facility located in Olmito. I'm board chair there, been on their board for 7 years. I also serve on the board of Good Neighbor, and I'm just a regular board member there because I have too many other things to handle with Sunshine Haven. And then I am a board member with the Palm Society of South Texas.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Lizardi Burlett. I'm in education for over 3 decades. I'm a certified librarian, not a practicing one, but a learning one. I'm also a member of the board of the Chamber of Commerce. Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome. And Dr. Feist, if you can hear us, I don't know if you want to say hello. I didn't mean to skip over you.
Hello, Ms. Pensa and the rest of the board members. I actually am attending this evening as a member of the public. I was not reappointed to the board, but I'm still interested in the Brownsville Public Library system and all of these activities. So I'm attending as a member of the public.
Well, thank you
so
much for your participation. Okay, so the next thing we need to discuss is the terms for each of the new members. Do we have information?
Yes, so over a year ago, we went down from 9 members to 7 members. And so we could stagger everybody where eventually everybody will have a 3-year term. We had to put some at 2 years, some at 3 years. So right now we're going to determine old school way, who's going to do a 2-year term, to do a 3-year term from the members that are currently present. Okay. Yeah. You can open yours up so I can see what. So 2-year term. So you. 3-year term. Okay. And I'm just putting it. 3-year term. All right, thank you. If you want to keep the numbers, you can, or not, I'll take them back from you. Okay. Awesome.
Thank you, Maribel. So does that make sense then, that just in an effort to kind of get the board membership aligned based on the change, we'll have a little bit of last year it was a little more complicated because we had 1, 2, 3. That And of course, we encourage people to apply if they wish again for reappointment when your term is expired. Okay, so do we need to take official action or can we let those drawings stand?
Those drawings stand.
Those drawings then.
Okay, great. All right, so next thing is gonna be a little bit more complicated, just given attendance today. So we need to appoint officers for the board, which will be difficult because the majority of you are new members and ineligible for officer service at this point. After you've served for a year, then you're eligible for service as president, vice president, recording secretary.
And that's it.
And those are the only three that we have because we're not a fundraising board. So at this time, how would you all like to proceed? Ruby is the only person, Ms. Gonzalez, the only person here that is eligible for an officer role. Alma Knapp is out, and so is Rachel Ayala. If you wish, you can nominate her. She can nominate herself, and then the four of you would vote. You can also select a position. So for example, if you would prefer to be recording secretary or something like that, as opposed to one of the other roles. So basically, you have as part of the authority to talk with all of us about what the duties and responsibilities are. That might be helpful. So President, we coordinate the agenda. So every month, I work with Juan and Maribel to put out a call for agenda items in case anyone has something from the board they'd like to discuss or something that's been raised in the community. And then the draft agenda, then I review that, or the president would review that and sign off and send it back. And then it's sent to the city secretary for signature and then distribution at that point. The vice chair or vice president, the vice chair serves in lieu whenever the president or chair is not available. They would serve as chair. So they might moderate the meetings and serve in that capacity. And then the recording secretary has the responsibility of attending the meetings, just like all the other two, but also in addition, actually transcribing those minutes, taking notes. Maribel provides a template for that. And then those are also then distributed with the members. And then the actions actually take it in the meeting. So that's kind of an overview. Yes.
Who are the outgoing officers?
So I am the only outgoing officer present. The other outgoing officer was.
Yeah, the vice chair resigned in the middle of the year or the third month of the year. And the recording secretary was not appointed, was not reappointed.
You're the only current officer,
I'm the only current officer present.
or just on the board right now?
Well, I'm not technically not on the board. I'm just here facilitating
Just to hand off,
as an
get off.
officio. So, yeah. So,
So I'm confused. Are you, sorry, so you are going to serve just as not an officer or?
At all.
no, I'm just serving tonight just to facilitate the election so that you all can carry on. So whoever is elected, so whatever position, if, so sorry to put you on the spot, Ms. Gonzalez would like to take, then she would, we can nominate her. We can vote as a group. I won't vote. The four of you will vote. And then she will carry on.
Tin can around with.
And then she will carry on the rest of the meeting.
I have a question. As far as those who are not present, you had mentioned Rachel Ayala and Alma Knopf. Have those two ever taken on the role of an officer?
I don't believe within the advisory board itself. I know previously, Ms. Ayala has been very active with Friends of the Library, and at one point she may have served in a, officer capacity in that group.
No, she serves in the front of the library board, which is a nonprofit. And we discussed that, don't know.
Yeah. And Alma Knopf, I think her term just started with last year.
It's Ms. Gonzalez, Ms. Ayala, and Ms. Knapp were new last year. So this is their first year. So.
Well,
Well, I guess I would like to nominate myself for president. So that way we can just go ahead and proceed. That's
Okay. And would anyone like to second Ms. Gonzalez's
Second.
nomination? All right, there we go. Nomination has been seconded. And so if y'all are okay, we'll take a vote. The four of you will vote. All in favor of Ms. Gonzalez as president for the Brownsville Public Library System Advisory Board, say yay.
yeah.
And all opposed, nay. Okay, so unanimous decision. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was-
And I'm assuming that Ms. Shannon, you'll be leaving us right now? And I'm assuming, right? That,
I will step to that side and I will also attend as a member of the community. And so I'm going to turn it over now to you. And then the agenda item number 6, usually check in with Maribel. She lets us know if there's citizen comment, which I'm told there is not tonight.
but before that, I just want to thank you, Ms. Shannon, for being board chair for a very important year. Not only as a new concept of last year, I mean, an important transition in administration, but also transition in board, and you were integral part in where we at right now. And obviously, Chief didn't share, but Ms. Shannon used to be an employee of us, and so she's very passionate about libraries, and she has demonstrated that, and she'll continue to be an advocate for the library. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. How much?
Okay, so for item number 6, there's no comment. Okay, we can proceed to item number 7.
Thank you.
Discussion of Open Meetings Act and Public Information Act training for all members.
So City Secretary Office has requested that all board members across the board, so that for up to the commissions, all the way down to the smallest board through the city, that they do perform both of these trainings, which is the Open Meetings Act and the Public Information Act. When clicking into the links, you're gonna get into this page right here. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, Carlos, there's a video right there. So you watch that video, and then once you finish watching the video, you print your certificate. Once you get your certificate, you can go ahead and send me a copy and keep one for yourself. And you're gonna do the same thing for the both of them. So you have the other link, and I will provide those links in an email, and I will text you, Mr. Olivo, let you know when it's in your email. So you can go ahead and access those trainings. And hopefully we can get them in, let's say by the end of February, because I know we have busy schedules.
You have a question? Mr. Pineda?
That was my question, by when do we do it by?
And that training needs to be done every year for all members,
No, it's just when you're going to enter into a board.
the new members.
So I already have your 2 certificates, so it'd be for the new members, and I believe, yes, I have the other certificates for the other 2 board members that are not present.
And we are pending another new board member that we have not been able to get a hold of. She was nominated by Commissioner Cardenas, and she's trying to get that contact information. So perhaps by the next meeting, we will have another board member sitting with you, along with Ms. Ayala and Ms. Knapp.
Okay, thank you. All right, we can go ahead and move on to item number 8, the library report.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brenda Trevino. I'm the head library branch manager. For this past month from December, we went ahead and we had regular programming, but in addition to that, we did have Pictures with Santa at both libraries. Both of them were very successful. It was hosted outside for precaution purposes due to COVID, but we still had really good attendance at Southmost. We had a total of 382 people join us for the event. And at Maine, we had 457. And it was hosted only for one night at each library. And we basically had what we call Trail of Lights. So we had a lot of inflatables and Christmas theme props. And we created kind of like a sidewalk where we displayed. People were able to walk through there. And at the very end of the trail, that's where we had Santa in his chair. And we were able to take the picture of the family before they moved on to get information for our library services. All of the pictures that were taken that night were posted up on our library website, and so they could go ahead and download. It was a digital picture. All right. We also had staff participate in the Market Square tree lighting. So we took the opportunity, one of our librarians was actually one of the performers. And then we also had 2 staff members there that were promoting all of our services. Took some of our promotional items. They ran out very quickly. So a lot of the people there were still amazed that they didn't know that we were open. So we were able to communicate to the community to come back in and use our services. Other than that, Southmost has been hosting COVID pop-up clinics for testing. So we have had in these last 2 weeks quite a bit of people attending there. They're there very early. We're the hosting facility. The testing is run by UT Health, School of Public Health, and they do have limited testing that they're able to provide per day. So people show up very early, and as soon as they arrive, they hand out numbers and then let the others know that they can either go to other testing sites or they can come back the following day. We do host them from Tuesday to Saturdays. And on Wednesdays and Saturdays, the health department also joins us in the evenings to go ahead and hand out vaccines. So that has also been very popular, very good turnout. Other than that, that pretty much sums up the month of December. We do have upcoming programming that our librarians and staff are in the process of planning, and specifically and coming soon will be makerspace services and computer classes that I know the library board has suggested. Any questions?
I need to add something, Brenda, and that's something that we're going to be having our first annual employee retreat, and that'll be at the Southmost Library on January 28th. And we have 2 sessions, one from 8 to noon, I believe, and then the other one 2 to 6. The reason we have 2 sessions is because we can't close the library, so we're going to have all employees there. And it's very humble for us because with the first retreat, we're gonna talk about our culture, but we're also gonna have some games where we can build some trust and get to know each other more. And so I'm cordially inviting you to attend and be there and see for yourself what we have been establishing. And again, it's the first of hopefully on a yearly basis. And so we're gonna have Mr. Bernal there. We're also going to have a guest speaker, one of our city department directors will be speaking on our total alignment culture. And so I cordially invite you. And
Thanks, Dan.
2 sessions. One, it's if you're a morning person, the 28th of January, that's on a Friday, it's 8 to noon. And the other session, if you're the afternoon or if you want to be there all day, it's from 2 to 6. And again, you get a chance to mingle with our staff and talk to them. The 2 to 6 on the Southmost, the 2 to 6. And so we'd like to invite you again. This is, as I was talking to Mr. Pineda, I want the board to be more interactive with our staff. And so I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to get to know our staff and what we're all about. You're there.
Go ahead.
Just have a few questions. I was curious about the Santa, you talking about December. I know we're still in the middle of the pandemic. I guess how did the numbers compare to maybe last year, maybe the year before? Do you have an idea?
The previous year, we ended up doing a drive-through event. And so those numbers were relatively almost the same as this year. Pre-COVID, we used to actually host for 4 nights at each library, so the numbers were more higher. We used to get about 400 a night, if not more, especially the last night used to be sometimes reach up to close to 900. But yeah, so pre-COVID, it was a much longer event.
I have a question on the makerspace and the computer classes. Do we have a tentative date, more or less, when that will begin?
We are aiming for February.
Okay. And that's gonna be at both libraries?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, at both.
Any question?
Sure.
For the, you said it was COVID testing happening at Southmost?
Yes.
Public health?
Mhm.
How long is that going to continue?
Right now, they haven't given me an end date, and I mean, we're at their disposal, helping out the community. We actually started probably, I want to say probably in October is when we actually started hosting them. But of course, the numbers since the holidays happened have really picked up. Sometimes they're out of the kids by 9 o'clock in the morning.
And is it, because I'm just not familiar with what they're doing. Is it like a drive-through operation?
No, they actually, it's outside, but they actually, people who go in for the testing do need to get off of their cars and they make a line, social distancing, but they'll stand on the longer portion of the canopy area and they'll go through that and they wrap around.
Is there an opportunity there to present any propaganda, any literature as far as what the library has to offer during that time?
In theory, yes, but we want to make sure that our staff are safe because they're, for the vaccine, yes, but for the COVID testing, we want to make sure that our staff is safe because they're there to be tested. We try to stay away. We just are hosting. We don't interact with them. But hopefully once they're there, they remember and they can come back later. But when we do have when we have the vaccine, we do.
Actually, the staff there encourages those that attend to go into the library, especially wait those 15 minutes to make sure that they're feeling okay before leaving.
For the vaccine.
For the vaccine, yes.
That's how the way I get some of my shopping done. When is it at Walgreens? You have to wait 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I was asking about the testing too, just because, I mean, I'm just sort of seeing around town, these long lines. I think a lot more people are being, are interested in those tests. So is it on the website? I guess where can people get information about? You said the hours, I think Tuesday and Saturday, but
Yes.
it's on the website.
It's on the BTX Cares website. But regardless, even when we get our phone calls, most of our staff are already aware. They have flyers that will, they'll let them know we ran out here for today, but these are your other options.
Is that something that we can also provide here at the main branch, or is it just?
That's a very good question. Right now, demographics say that the need is at the Southmost area. I've asked Dr. Rodriguez, the Health Department Director, we can offer, it has more logistics to be here. For now, it's either, I don't know if it's a grant or anything, it's more suited for the Southmost area, but I've offered the main branch and it's been considered, but for now, I don't know, logistics, a college near the college, it's the only one at Southmost, but we've offered. But that's a good question.
Just a follow-up, are there any other city facilities, city buildings where people get free testing, or is it just the library?
Yes, it's actually, it's out in contract. There's two areas. One is the event center. I think it's from 9 to 4 or was a high class, and the other one is the Port Clinic.
Which clinic?
Port Clinic, right in front of Anfield.
Oh, the Port Clinic.
Yeah, and in fact, they're under contract with the city to provide free testing for undetermined amount of time, whether when this subsides or it continues. So there's an under contract that came out that was approved by commission on Tuesday, this past Tuesday. Good question.
Thank you.
On the upcoming retreat, will there be an agenda provided beforehand?
Working on that. We have the topics. We just don't have the times, but we have the topics. Yes, we'll be discussing. I'll be doing the introduction with the mission, vision statement to the staff. that was created by the staff. I was just going to reinforce it, and then we'll be talking for other, we have a guest speaker, Mr. Bernal will probably be making some comments. And Brenda and Josie and myself will be speaking, but the most exciting part is just getting to know the staff and, you know, building trust, different games. I think eggs are involved.
That's exciting. And this is real. This is the first time that,
This is the first time that we have thought about it, and in our new administration, and Brenda and I leading the whole team, there's something that the whole city is is promoting, and I think you mentioned that somebody mentioned that it's a good thing for retreats. Retreats, it's a good team building, and instead of just getting in the minutia of doing the same thing over and over again, so.
all right, are there any other questions, comments? Okay, we can go ahead and move on to item number 9, discussion of the library marquee.
Let me preface this with, this is Katie Hernandez. Every department within the city is asked to do, besides the day-to-day operations, we have what's called, every department called the work plan, which is something other than the normal day-to-day operations that we are required to do based on our budget. And one of the things is to revamp our marquees, and we're gonna start with the southmost marquee, making it, first of all, right now, as the one on the left side, that's what is current now, so that's something that we want your opinion on what are the options, and see what you like, Ms. Katie?
Yes, so right now, as you see, the second picture, it's from one company that has suggested, and then the next one is a different company. So you can see the difference between I guess the height of it. But we just wanted to see the suggestions or just thoughts on the screen on top, or the cabinet on the bottom, which is where the logo goes, or the logo on top and then the screen at the bottom. And then there's also the diagonal form of the cabinet, and then also the square. So, and then I do believe the new sign B on the very top is a little bit higher than, yeah, so than the one at the bottom. So we just wanted to see for you guys to look at it, and any thoughts on that.
And these are coming from two different companies?
Yes. As of right now.
And again, we in our work plan, we are doing both marquees, but the southmost needs more help right now, and it's much easier to do. The main one is gonna be done in design phases, because we may combine it with a bus stop at the central branch. So this is much easier to do based on your opinions and on this.
And the cost of these?
It's about 30,000.
For each, coming from each different company?
It varies between 30, yeah.
Wait, so the second from the right is one company, and then the 4 are
So the second one is from one company, and then the little 4
from a,
on the right are from the second company, but they're different colors.
Right.
So the top one and the measurement. So the top one, the measures is I want to say 6 by 8, and then the bottom is no, I'm sorry. The top one is 8 by 8, and then the bottom one is 6 by 8.
but the first one's taller? Is that what I'm getting? Like way taller?
Yes.
Were there any specifications as far as height? I just see such a big discrepancy, one
No, it's just a matter of choice.
choice.
Yeah, it's just a matter of choice. Obviously, the original one was made that way. We still need to look at that, but again, just a matter of choice.
Honestly, I've driven through Southmost many times, and I miss the sign all the
Yeah.
time, just because it is so high and it just kind of blends in with all the different trees and everything. I kind of like the top sign, the new sign A. I like the little angle, and I like how it pops out a little bit more with the white.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know what the board
Well,
members.
I'll be honest, That's the sign right now on the far, I don't, I remember that little street, the little green square right when you get to the turn.
Do we have to make a decision at this time?
No, it's just something, we're working on it, I think is, as long as we can get procured by what, June or March?
Yeah.
And so, no, it's just as an idea, as all of us be deciding, I don't want just for us to decide, we want to interact, color choices. I personally, I like the same sign A, new sign A, personally, but again, this is all your opinion too.
Yeah, and the second photo, I mean, it could also be suggested to be lowered down. The difference is just that the screen, the digital screen is bigger than the cabinet, which is on the bottom. That's the difference between the two pictures.
I guess one question is that, I'm sure y'all have thought about this. Is there any pros and cons about having the marquee in the bottom versus the top? That y'all thought of?
No, it's just a matter of,
How high is, can a person, how high is it, someone walking by could they?
it's higher than, it's not, Brenda?
Yeah, she's in the picture, but it's very small.
This is
You
Brenda
can
right
see
here.
it, yeah. So I believe even higher.
I get a little closer. I
Yeah,
just,
by all means.
the only thing I was just thinking vandalism.
Yeah.
Just walking by and want to hit it or something.
I think the only issue,
Close. I don't know.
You say eight.
On top.
the,
And remember, this is just a Photoshop thing. We can add the dimensions to see, or we can put into consideration that it's no way being damaged or.
I would say that would be the only precaution, because it's a little taller, but it looks like you probably put your arm up and touch it.
Yeah.
And so maybe you want to have the, maybe that would be a reason to have the marquee on the top, if that part can get damaged. I don't, I mean,
Yeah.
I just think when I was a kid, probably.
I'm sure we can find something in the middle, maybe.
Because if you look, I think she could stand up and sign. Have the digital part on.
yes.
The way it currently stands, I don't want to say ballpark figure, I think they told us it was between 13 to 18 feet, the way it currently stands. So the ones, the 4 squares, yeah, they would definitely, I think they brought it down lower.
So which one is 30 feet, Brenda?
The original.
No, between 13 to 18 feet ballpark.
Maybe some more meet in the middle. We can always bring it up to you in next meeting and with actual dimensions and options.
Yeah, the only problem I foresee doing the extremely tall sign is just that I do know that they do get covered by like the
The palm trees and all that.
trees, yes.
Yeah,
Can't really, well, I mean, as it is right now,
Yeah.
I pass it.
So
I agree with you too.
Sorry.
Yes.
right now, these, the sign A and sign B at the bottom are 17.
Okay.
But that's only from the bottom to the top. And you're talking about 6 feet.
You want to pass it along?
Yeah.
Right. Having the screen on top could be a better option, just because we could avoid any potential problems of vandalism.
Yeah, and as far as what goes on top and the bottom, I think maybe, yeah, the
Yeah.
you know, up there
Yeah.
and the logo in the bottom. Are gonna be, logo will be plexiglass, so.
Like that. So do we want to go ahead and bring this item back up on our next meeting so we can have the other members discuss?
Opinion?
I think we need to
Okay,
wait and make a decision.
Okay, so
all right.
I am curious, which of the board members here, in terms of frequency, do you all go to a Southmost Library fairly often?
I have, not often, but I have several times.
Yes, I've been there. I mean, I encourage my students, they had an event, the opening of the Selma's Library. I encourage my students to go, and I work, by the area, so that's why we're a lot.
I'm just curious, because I mean, I definitely would want to, I mean, you know, they like a certain design, but I think I'd want to defer to, you know, if there's people who could go to the library more and maybe are more familiar with Southmost. I mean, I've gone to occasionally, but
I don't think you can go wrong with cowboy blue.
Especially in South Coast.
Good point.
I don't think you can go wrong there.
Okay, do we have any other comments on the marquee? Okay, so do we have a motion to table that item and then bring it up in our next?
I so move.
And just to be clear, so in terms, I mean, there's not gonna, it sounds like there's not gonna be an action item from us.
No, it's just an, I know, opinion, just an opinion.
Our members, our
Yeah,
presidents can go ahead and
yeah.
the different designs that are in the works.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that. We have come to the end of our meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Second?
Second.
All right,
Second.
we can adjourn our meeting at 6:08.
So 38 minutes, not bad. But thank you and looking forward to working with you and then we'll be following up with the new board members, the links and expect some, week before the meeting, we usually, Ms. Ruby, we'll send you a template of the agenda. And then she's gonna send it to you guys and you guys can add anything you want to add to the agenda. Finalize it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.